So grommets, this is one of the downsides to projects. If you leave it too long, you forget where everything goes. So I've had a look at the video again, as well as the parts diagram, and I think I've got most of them worked out where they're going to go back. So let's start with the easy one. This is just the rest for the tank, petrol tank, and that sits just loosely on the frame, like so. And then the tank would eventually drop over the top of it, and then this sits on the top. So it's obviously loose at the moment, and there's a plate and bolt, which I've done. So I've just olive drab plated them and olive drabbed them so they can go temporarily there, and I'm not going to lose them. Next ones are grommets that go on here that hold the rear fairing, part of the fairing, side panels. So we've got 1, 2, and then 3 and 4. And they're slightly different grommets. These are the slightly thicker one with a sort of like a cone face. The cone face goes onto the frame like that. I just put a bit of grease on, makes it easier to slide on and off. So we've got 4 of those. And this large one, this is the I suppose the bump rest for the 2-stroke oil, and that sits in this big hole. That one. Next big one is this rest, I think, which is for the front of the tank, and it sits on this little post just up here. No bolt currently. Parts diagram just shows it loose, sits on there loosely. Interesting. Doesn't want to. Yeah, I don't know. Eventually, it looks like that is threaded in there. Can't remember what fits in there, but anyway, that's what the parts diagram says. And then up the top here, we've got again 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4. There's slightly different grommet. This is where the expansion tank would sit, and there's a black panel that goes in there. So these are the slightly thinner ones, and the wider edge sits away from the frame or the top. Now mine are beginning to crumble and crack because they're quite old, so I've got some on order, but for the time being I'm just going to put them on the frame, and then I don't know where they'll go. So that's pretty straightforward. Next one is this straight round one. That's for the radiator, top part of the radiator. There's a post slides in there. It goes in this little hole in here. I'd have to put the camera down because it's a bit tighter, this one. There we go. Then we've got 3 more left. And these straight ones, and I can't remember where these go. In the video, I say these. They say these go on horizontally. Anyway, so the remainder of these just hunt around on the bike, and we've got one there. And two, so there's one there, one in there. It's probably for the airbox, I'm guessing. So I think these are the two straight ones. I think these are for the airbox. It's one. Two. So we're left with two grommets, and it looks like we've got two down here. That's good. So hopefully someone who strips a frame down and don't know where the grommets go, this might help you, especially when you've got two hands. So I've ordered replacement ones. You can get these at Yambits. I don't think you can get those, and you can't get these thicker ones, unfortunately, or those. So they're a bit rare. And obviously, I don't know, you may be able to get these, I don't know. Anyway, so you got to sort of check out. They're cheap, so it doesn't matter if you get the wrong things. And another part of the frame puzzle, these offsets are mounted on like this. They sort of line up with a small hole or pin on the frame. And yeah, these are where the fairing will bolt to eventually. And I just know this is going to get in the way. So perhaps don't put these on until right towards the end, I think. I'll see how annoying they are, because you can see they're prone to getting caught when you're working on the bike. So I've just cleaned up the paintwork, sandblasted it, gave it a good couple of coats of the black, and just polished up the key cover, I suppose you call it. I wrapped it in masking tape just so you don't lose all the pins. So first bit is, I think, to put back the ignition barrel, but I suppose the lock barrel. Okay, idiot. It helps. Oh. It helps to actually put the key in. That will cause all the pins to retract, and then it can slide in. Wow, after all that, that's a good tip. So put the ignition key back in, and then it all lines up. And you can see the rear pin has sprung out, and that stops the lock from falling out now. Let's just hope I got it in the right way. As in, is that supposed to be 180 degrees the other way? I don't know. So this will then sit over the top of that. And in theory, yeah, so that should lift. So that's the right way around. So now I can put the spring in. Put the spring in first. Like that. Now we can pop that in. Like that. So that should lift up and hold the helmet lock, and then this rotates, And the helmet lock comes undone. Cool. Fortunately, I chipped my paintwork. That was good. I just have to put a dab of, because I only just painted this the other day. I didn't really let it go hard. It's annoying. Anyway, I just dab a couple of bits of paint in there. And then there's a back cover. It's got a spring, and that obviously spring lines up with the tip of the helmet lock. A couple of tiny screws. I just plated all these with a gold passivate. Those screw heads need to be below the surface. But not too tight. So that's that. And what we can do now is just unlock it and just put in our security screw. I'll just put a dab of grease on the back of that and bolt it on the frame. So it's bolted on and works quite well. So same for the seat release. It's interesting on this, you can see it's got a helmet, but there is no helmet function. As we can see, the previous part of the video, there's a separate helmet lock on this particular one. So same again. Now I know that the ignition key helps when we put in the barrel. That's a good thing. So same again, if I can find the, I want to start the paper. Just put a bit of WD on there because this rear clip is not springing out very well. I won't need that clip to be springing out to lock it. So it's not coming out very well. I think that'll do. So hopefully when we put the key in, it lines everything up. It does. So you just got this first one has to be held down and hopefully pops back up. Now, which way does it go? This way or the other way? So I think it goes in this way. So, oh, it doesn't focus very well. So the spring at the top there points up, and hopefully this will slide in. Like that. So you can see the little spring has sprung up at the back. So it's pointing upwards. And indeed, if I remove the key now, that's all good. So the first bit is this disc, the hole, that sits on like that. Then this little thing sits in there. Before I put that in, There's a small spring. Okay, so the spring actually sits a bit lower, and that piece sits in there. Then we've got this top slider that goes in there. Then this spring sits in there. And then this ball bearing sits on that hole. That sits in there. And then finally we've got this pin, lever, which pivots on there. So you can see that pushes that back. All right. Oh yeah, there's a third spring, and that I think will sit on there. So yeah, the ball bearing. Whoa. The spring goes in there, then the ball bearing. I think that's like a detent. So that should lie over the top. Okay, I think we're good. What I'll do is I'll just take this off again and put a dollop of grease in there, just to sort of help with, just to help everything slide around a bit. So in theory, turning it allows you to, you see that in there? Yeah, and then obviously lock it. Doesn't want to unlock. So that's that one done. Then this one is pretty much the same, but a little bit easier. So I think it's just that spring, lever, no, other way. Yeah, that's it. Again, a dollop of grease, a couple of screws. And we bolt it on the frame. So yeah, just fit these on, and I've plated up the screws, so it's pretty straightforward. And then just do the other side. So they're both done. Next up, handlebars.